Hello, everyone, I am safe. Continue to consider the deposit amount. In 2019, I decided to go back and start a business. The first property I found was from Fang Dong. Since Fang Dong is a southerner, he did not understand the condition of the property, did not think about the house being used, and we who like DIY proposed it. If Fang Dong wanted to accept our renovation and placement, we could handle it ourselves. Fang Dong answered and answered. Fang Dong also showed him the responsibility of the rich, and then helped us replace the washing machine, and also repaired the water leak. Later, we finally started a business. Fang Dong also agreed to register our business. 2 years later, as the girls grew up, the leather workshop needed more equipment, and the space began to be used up. The house also said that he did not have a larger property that could be rented to us, so we would just leave the property again. In January 2023, a suitable property was seen, and the house said that this was his salary, and the previous guest was destroyed. Just like the previous property, we hope that we can protect this property. The contract also includes the same repairs, so we remove the old rotten wooden block. The first and second floors, all the walls and the floorboards have been repainted, and after all the arrangements are complete, we officially moved in. However, when the water situation occurred, after half a year, the floorboards were broken in many places, and we immediately made a contract to write down the water leakage and the owner was responsible. However, they all entrusted us with finding no one, so we decided to buy the house immediately after the loss, and we took the courage to do so. It has been 31 days since I made a contract with you for 10 points early, thank you. Since I did not do it, I must make 3 points left and right, and since I made 1 point, it was very hot, and it was the afternoon of July 31st. Good, I made a contract with you for 3 points in the afternoon, thank you. Good, this is the first time. After the phone call, we will also use the time to inform you sincerely, even if the other party does not come back after leaving, we will immediately receive the lawsuit file, and it will be up to now. Hi, everyone, I am safe. I saw the above paragraph, and some people think that it is because you signed an old house, and then we will go up again. The agreement is not fair, and there are many disadvantages to you. However, it is not like this, but if you calculate your room again, the contract will be good. The other party will tell you again, I can tell you again, I can share the problems we encountered in the contract in advance. So he wrote on the top that the second generation of the treasurer will have to pay the rent. So at first I was injured and lacked self-knowledge. I was in the previous room at that time, but I only said, the business registration will increase and the difference will be between you and me. Blame it. Then I said, good. The difference part is my responsibility because I was in the second house at that time. Then I said, you need some sleep money at that time. I also said, good, because I was in the first house at that time, I was like this. That's right, I'm really in the second house at that time. Quote. Let's go back and see the lawyer. I know that the original business registration was for the company's name, so you should sign this local account. The Consumer Protection Act does not protect you. You should use your personal name to receive protection. He said that the penalty fee would be 2 months. This is a violation of the Consumer Protection Act. It is because we use the studio's name that we get 2 months' salary. Let's go back and see the studio's name, so you should sign this local account. The Fang Dong does not seem to be responsible for it. That's why we must write down the leak again. There must be a room to blame, so when we are in this office, we can give a legitimate reason. You should write it down first. You are not responsible, so we can cancel the contract. Hearing this, he thought it was good. You both signed the contract. What kind of situation did that happen? After he didn't come to the meeting, he told me to clean the room and said that I would take his room, but the room never came back. Oh, then he also said that we have no rent shortfall of 2.3 million, and he even added my share, and then some people said that you made that sloppy house, you are the defendant, you are normal, you are a sloppy house, you see. There is no problem when you pay your rent. No, it is not. He said that you will clear the occupancy today, and he will use the calculation to clear the sloppy house again. and he can also tell you to clear the occupancy. When I was talking to him, he said, "You guys, are you looking for a tuition fee? Who are you asking to rent this broken house?" Quote, "We have no intention of paying tuition fees. He paid for these decorations, but we have completely failed to pursue them. And when we first agreed to talk, we were just going to talk. How much is the cancellation fee? Is it possible that the other party has no intention of doing so? He even kept pressing money, but I still have no intention of doing so." Then he wrote a new letter on the tree and said, he needs to pay the pressing fee, and then the cancellation fee is 300,000 yen. The cancellation fee on our contract is 2 months, and he wrote 300,000. Isn't it strange? Using a comparatively easy to understand comparison, it seems that we have bought a health product for a year, so we have already talked about it, and I want to cancel, and then you won't pay for your cancellation, and you will be forced to spend it again. I think I have not pursued these medical expenses with you, and you will demand my spouse's consumption back, but I will apply for a new rental fee again, because I have not paid for your expenses for a year in the past, so you will have to pay it again, and now it is like this. Here again, I think they said, "What do you think they have to do with you?" So they have to tell you directly. When I saw their family's official records, they were like this. For example, they told me about my station, and then they went ahead and rented it. If I were to give them one of those, I would not give them a certificate. They have to tell me about it. For example, if you were like this, they would not give me a certificate. If I were to give them a certificate, "This part of your rent, you may have really wanted to pay him this year. Of course he may have thought that he didn't mean to, and then he wrote you this many lawsuits, and then he added that my spouse was the one who was going to pay. So isn't this the time to explode?" You must have thought that Jong-jin? What time did Jong-jin explode? They finally found out that Jong-jin was different. Jong-jin used to take pictures to cheat. How can it be? Our situation is that after we need to retreat, he can find various reasons to tell you. For example, after you have understood, he said that I remembered that the house was destroyed. He can directly tell you that the thing was destroyed, because I saw the method of renting an explosive device, but I got it back. He is the people's legitimate right to sue, so the prosecution is not established. Therefore, today, his law is that there is a gold medal in front of the people's right to sue. That's the tree in the back. How should I write those amounts, or how should I tell you? Because there's a litigation right in front of it here. This is the reason why the defendants were not prosecuted. This is also because they were like this. They had the opportunity to accuse me. These things made us feel very helpless. This is the Taiwanese judiciary. Although litigation is the people's right, today's opponents think that they should tell you. They can't submit any evidence. They are like this. The defendants need to submit evidence again. He told me about the rent and the corn rent, because the reason was probably after I had thought about it. He was not kind. He told me again about the first rent, and then added the amount I paid to us. Of course you must have realized, why can't he pay for these things? It's fine if it doesn't work, so I'm sure you're stubborn and told me today, the person who is stubborn and wrong is lacking one piece of evidence, so it becomes advantageous for the other party. The general public does not come to talk to anyone who maliciously sues them like this, and the people's rights are freely changed. So what is the impact of bringing these defendants with us? What people are saying is, in Taiwan, you can just file a lawsuit as a defendant, and you will definitely get it, but this is not a normal phenomenon, and the light is that I have now combined 6 cases with me as a defendant. So, each time you have to respond, because if there is one case where you do not respond to the court, it will be disadvantageous for us as defendants. What people are saying is, if you choose to protect yourself, he will go to find a lawyer, and that lawyer has 5 to 100,000 cases. It is a trial level, so if you are in the first 2 or 3 ministries, if you complete one office, it is not good for you to go to the office for at least 150,000 yen, and the lawyer will help us to go to the office for a lot of money. So if you are in the first 2 or 3 ministries, if you complete one office, it is not good for you to go to the office for at least 150,000 yen, and the lawyer will help us to go to the office for a lot of money. So if you are in the first 2 or 3 ministries, it is good for me to go to the office for a lot of money, and after the donation, the talent went to work, and I was going to accompany these sloppy customers, huh? I was going to tell you, while they were waiting, huh? They were waiting, because they didn't happen. Damages are like this: the other side can pay the individual amount, and there is no clear evidence that the damages have been caused. The rate is also not high, especially because the defendant came to file a complaint, and in fact, the defendant in Taiwan is in a position where he is truly disadvantaged in litigation, and what could he do if he were to rush today? Because Taiwan does not have a speedy filtering mechanism, nor does it have genuine punishment, and this part is subject to the rent explosion, and there are no well-known provisions, and even there is no black name system in Fangdong. Some countries have a black name system, and I feel that this is what Taiwan actually needs. If you encounter a situation like this with us, some people may be scolded by their family members, and then talk about reconciliation. A 50,000 alloy is also not suitable. It must be a problem, so these people always do these kinds of things. Everyone is welcome to leave a message and share the situation with us. Let more people know that this is not really a love. After all, the current house price in Taiwan has been so high that only young people can rent, and the rental market also has such a situation. For us young people who come here to talk about how hard life is, we are afraid of encountering these circumstances, so we hope to improve it. It is possible that the attention to these circumstances, which are not very high, is relatively low. It is possible that we have to be pressured to commit suicide in the house. This means that you will have to pay hundreds of thousands of settlements or ask a lawyer. For ordinary families, this is an injury. I hope you can pay attention to these matters, because this is not really just a matter of renting, but a matter of whether you can meet all of them. Of course, many people ask us, how come we are in such a situation of being ruined? How can we not get along? This is because Taiwan's law has not improved, and there is no law like this. Thank you very much. I hope you can pay close attention to these matters, so as to avoid further harm to your family. Thank you. Bye-bye.